What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is DAYZ, and today we're talking about The Day Before. Now, if you guys are wondering, well, why are you making this video with the same trailers that we've already seen? I know. Trust me, we all want new trailers, we all want new gameplay footage, but unfortunately we don't have it yet. So until then, what I've done with this video is I've taken a dive into the history of The Day Before, a history into the games that this studio has developed in the past, and the reviews that other players have shared as well. Now, what I want this video to do for you is pretty much paint a picture of who is developing this game, where we think the game might end, and how we should really receive the game overall. Now, I know that there are a lot of people that are being cautious about this game being released and that it's gonna be a scam and that, you just never know nowadays, and I do not blame those people because lately, some of the games that we've highly been anticipating have turned out to be a complete failure. So with that being said, let's take a close look into everything that we can at the moment. That way we can formulate some kind of image behind this development. Without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so The Day Before is currently being developed by a company known as Fantastic, which was founded in 2015, and since then the company has created several different games. Now these games include The Wild 8, Dead Dozen, and Radiant 1. With all of this in mind, it's important to note that after The Wild 8 was released, the studio ended up cutting all ties with the game's development and no longer provided updates for the gameplay. Now, this left a lot of angry players behind, and they left a lot of reviews that showed they were not satisfied. Some players were saying that the game was pretty much abandoned, the game was far from being complete, it was unplayable, and it had very poor control settings. Now, I was able to find a review where the company itself responded, letting them know that they did not abandon the project, but instead handed the project back over to the original developing company. With that being said, let's move on to Dead Dozen. Now, this game came in two parts. The first part being Dead Dozen Escape, which allows you to play in single player or co-op, and then the second part being Dead Dozen, which allows you to play online PvP with up to 12 players. Now, this game looks great as far as the video and the trailer that they presented, but when you go into the reviews, the players that actually spent time in the game had other things to say. While I went through these reviews, I noticed that a lot of people weren't able to even open the game for the first time, and when they actually got in, they stated that the game was very poorly optimized, not even allowing them to play. Now, this ended up getting a lot of players to refund the product and saying never to buy a game from this company again. Now, with all of this being said, guys, I am not bashing the studio at all. I am simply just stating what has happened in the past with the games they've developed. Alright, so now that we have pretty much all of the negative out of the way when it comes to this development studio, let's get into some of the positives. They ended up releasing a game known as Radiant 1, which ended up doing pretty well in the Steam store and got a mostly positive review from most of its player base. The only negative part of these reviews that I saw is the fact that the story wasn't long enough for the players, but other than that, the game was great and a lot of people loved it. So now that you guys have a picture of what this studio has done in the past, let's talk about present day 2021, where the studio is currently developing their biggest project yet, known as The Day Before. Now, this is an open world MMO survival set in a deadly post-America overrun by flesh-hungry infected and survivors that are killing each other for food, weapons, and cars. If you guys are watching this video, you've probably already seen the official gameplay and the official trailers released on the IGN network, and you're probably wondering, well, how is this new studio going to be able to push out a game of this size with the graphics that's displayed on screen? Well, they did land a partnership that could help them with this creation, and that's going to be with one of the world's largest mobile game publishers known as Mytona. As they stated on their official website, Mytona is a mobile game developer and publisher and one of the world's leading mobile game developing companies in the world. They also house over 1,000 different employees around the world working towards one mission, and that's to bring high quality games in different genres. After looking through the Mytona catalog, I noticed that a lot of the games had to do with mystery solving and detective work along the way. Now this leads me to believe that the game The Day Before will include a lot of different side quests and missions for you to get through. Now this is only speculation and not something that has been confirmed. Alright, so enough with the history lesson. Let's just talk about where this game is going and how we should be receiving this project as we move forward. Now, we've all been let down by projects that have come out recently, games like Dead Matter that we all had high hopes for, and hopefully they can turn back around and fix it, and games like Cyberpunk that were extremely overhyped for its release. With everything that I've said in this video and our experience with games and how they've been developed in the past few years and what's been happening lately, it's very hard for us not to be cautious with a new game coming out, especially when it's promising so much up front. I do believe that it's important to keep in mind that Fantastic was able to establish a strong partnership with Mytona, which in return could help with the development of the game. It's also important to know the improvement that they made from the beginning of the games that they've launched to where they're standing right now. So, with all of this in mind, it is perfectly normal to be cautious at this stage in time, but let's see how everything unfolds and keep track of the full development of this game. That way we don't have any surprises in the future. Alright guys, so if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it. That is the biggest thing that I ask you. And if you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel because I will be keeping track of the full development for this game. Also, make sure you guys check out the Discord server for The Day Before that I linked down in the description box for you guys to hang out and talk about the game itself. Alright guys, without further ado, I appreciate you watching and I'll see you on the next video.